I have in front of me here a Perception Twin I/O link. It comes in this outer box here. There's a little user manual with it. A set of plugs and bolts here which you'll never use, but if you did, it'll allow you to mount this unit on a wall or a skirting. And we have the I/O link itself. The reason we call it a twin I/O link is it has two outputs on it. There's an RF1 output and an RF2 output. Just in brief, the reason that you need to use I/O links now and why we sell them in huge quantities is Sky made a decision in 2012-13 that they phased out the RF2 outlet on the back of their Sky boxes. Previously you could run a signal from your primary Sky box to a secondary room and it'd allow you both to view the channels in that room and if you're using a Sky Eye to actually remote to change channels. In a bid to boost multi-room subscriptions, they made a decision to remove that. This product, the I/O link, was developed simply because it came along and it takes the I/O port output on the back of its boxes and converts it into an RF signal that will allow you to continue to do that. So let's come along and we'll have a look at the product and I'll give a quick demonstration of how it would be used. So we have a lead here, it's 0.5 of a meter long, 50 centimeters, and it simply will insert here on the back of a Sky box. This is one of the new Sky boxes. There's no RF2 output on it, there's just an I/O port output here. So what we do is we push this in here, and what we would do is we're able to convert the output, the I/O port output here, over to an actual RF output here. So if we looked at the outputs here, RF1 or RF2, it'll actually be feeding an RF signal which you can run to another room directly from this box. In terms of the actual setup of this and configuring it, we have a sort of universal video covering all our I/O links that covers how to do this on the Sky box. Now the other input we have on this particular design is there's an RF input here, and it means that if you have a TV aerial, you can actually feed it into this point here, and it means that the RF outputs on this will have both the output from the actual Skybox, but also will say from your Serview or your Freeview aerial, and you can just run it down to the second location and have both outputs inside a single cable. In terms of the two outputs that we have here, the RF1 will normally be run to your local TV, where you could run up, let's say, the output of the Skybox. Well, you know, that's not, you're probably running a HDMI lead to the TV already, but it means that your UHF aerial signal can run directly into the TV from this, okay? And the second thing here is, this is the one that can support a Sky Eye, and the RF2 output here, and we'll run that to another location, okay? So if we're running it simply to a single other TV, without even powering this, it'll work quite well. And typically then what would mean that we can both view and also change channels remotely if we're using something like this Perception Sky Eye on it as well, or indeed any type of Sky Eye. If we were running through a multiple distribution amplifier, something like a four-way distribution amplifier, once again we probably won't need to power this unit, simply because a plug-in distribution amplifier will be boosting the signal, allowing it to be split and run to a number of rooms or a number of TVs with Sky Eyes on them possibly, and all being able to remotely control this box. But we'll say if we were running it through something like a Lab Gear unpowered amplifier that's dividing it up to 2 or 4 rooms, then most likely we will need to add a power unit on. And in my experience, people need to use power units with this probably for about maybe 25% of applications. So if we look here, we'll see there's an input here. It's a 12 volt, 500 milliamps, or 0.5 of an amp input on it. So it just powers up and boosts the signal, and it just means that it's given that extra oomph so we can actually go and distribute the thing to a number of different Sky Eyes, even through an unpowered amplifier. The reason that you'd need to boost the signal here, where with the old RF2 you mightn't have, is simply because the level of the I/O output on the back of the box isn't as strong as it would have been on previous designs, and that's why it needs this additional power unit. The great thing about having a separate power unit on it is that initially you don't need to buy the power unit. Quick, I'll just actually demonstrate the power unit here, which you can see in front of me here. So this is also provided by Perception, and it's an associated product to this. So if you don't need it, you don't buy it, and if you do need it, you can simply buy the power unit at a later point, add it on, and the I/O link itself will still work fine in terms of you don't need to go for a different type of I/O link if it's powered. So there's a range of these on the market here. The ones that are at the upper end would probably be the Triax one and this, and I think overall the design of this is better and the cost is lower. So it's actually a really winning product, I'd feel. So that's it anyway, an overview of the Perception Twin IO Link.